When people ask me what I'm going to school for and I tell them I'm going to be an accountant, I get a lot of mixed comments on that, but a lot are saying how bored I will be and how much I'll hate my job. And I think a lot of those beliefs come from what people see on TV or in movies. And I don't believe that, and I think it has a lot to do with math and organization, which are two things I'm really good at. So today I kind of want to give you an insight on what accountants do. In just the beginning, we're going to start off with a financial statement, and we're going to start off with a basic accounting equation. So today, the basic accounting equation, the first thing I want to show you, which is assets equal liability plus equity. Assets, those are things we own, anything that can be converted into cash. So obviously cash on hand, it could be savings accounts, it could be cars, it could be buildings, land, anything. And liabilities. Liabilities is something that we owe. So a common one is accounts payable. That could be like a loan. If we're paying off a loan, that's something that we owe. Another one would be utility bills, water, sewage, garbage, electric, employers, if we owe somebody money. And so assets equals liability plus equity. Equity is the owner's claim. So capital minus withdrawals plus revenue minus expense. That's what equity is, owner's equity. So, to use that, I'm going to have us open up our own business. And we are going to open a business called the Hungry Students, because everybody that goes to college is hungry. So, we're going to have a business and we're going to deliver anything anybody wants. Red Bull, Twinkies, whatever it is. So we're going to start off this business, and it's a new business. We're going to have $0 beginning capital. So as the owner, I'm going to give you $50,000. So an asset, cash, will have $50,000, and we're going to take it from owner's equity. So $50,000 goes on each side. Then $20,000. The $20,000 comes from, let's say we spent the $50,000 completely and we need a $20,000 loan. So we're going to get that $20,000 loan under liabilities, and it's going to give us $20,000 cash. And then the next thing I have written down is $8,000. Let's say we got that $20,000 loan, we got a whole bunch of Twinkies and Red Bull, and $8,000, bam, we made. So the $8,000 gives us some equity for revenue, and then let's say, okay, let's take our $8,000 and let's pay off some of our loan. So we're going to subtract $8,000 from our assets, our cash. We're going to subtract $8,000 from our liabilities because that's no longer needed to be paid. Then the $100 I have written down, let's say Michael hasn't been paid in weeks. We got to pay Michael. Michael needs paid. So $100, we're going to take off our cash, we're going to take it off our liabilities, and Michael's going to be paid. The most important thing is to make sure that we have equal amounts on each side. So we can go ahead, put a line through this. This all equals up to 6,900. And this does as well because we made sure we put an equal number on each side. In this circumstance, it's a lot simpler, but it will get a lot more complicated as time goes on. The next thing I want to start with is the financial statement that I had mentioned earlier. So the first part of a financial statement is the income statement. The income statement is super basic. It's revenue minus expense, which would be the net income. So we had our $8,000 sales right after we had got that $20,000 loan. So we put $8,000 for revenue. The expense, we had to pay Michael, so that's $100. So now we're down to $7,900 for our net income. So it's very important you follow the steps, because step 1, the income statement, will lead into step 2. Step 2 will lead into step 3. So $7,900. We're going to take our $7,900 and fill in the blank for net income. And then if you remember earlier in the video, I had told you $50,000 we invested in our company. The beginning capital, it was a new company, like I had said, so we started off with 0. And then withdraw. Let's say we had this car for delivery. We had a 2013 Camaro, and they said, here, we'll give this to you for $20,000, which is a really good deal. So we did the 20,000, which is a withdrawal. So we're going to subtract it. And we're going to use parentheses to subtract it, and we're going to do that a lot in accounting. So the 50 plus the 7,900 minus the 20 brings us to 37,900. Okay, so that's step 2. So the 37,900 we're going to use in step 3. So step 3, we have the balance sheet. Once again, you're going to see this equation here. Okay, so let's say we had 17,900 left in cash. That's all we had left. Supplies, we had 12,000. We had paid off 8,000. That was on our 20,000 that we had got. Then the Camaro, we had some bought for 20,000, the great deal. And then liability, we had paid off the 8,000 on the 20,000 loan. That gave us 12,000 accounts payable. Equity was on our step 2, and that was 37,900, like we had talked about. So if we add the liability and the equity, we get 12,000 plus our 37,900, which brings us to 49,900, which is equal to our asset amount if these 3 are added. So I have taught you a financial statement on the basics. It gets much more complicated and it keeps working off of that. So you'll come up with new ways, new assets, new liabilities, new owner's equity. It all just adds up. And that is the basic of accounting.